role as the president of the Georgia chapter for Stand With Crypto. You know what I'm saying? So I'm super thrilled and excited to talk about everything that's going on today, y'all. I'm super happy. It's been a lit weekend, super productive. I appreciate everybody's patience. And yeah, man, everything is beautiful, man. The scenery look dope. The weather's good today. You know what I'm saying? So if you're out and about, cleaning your cars, jogging, you know, you might be coming from the gym, enjoy that sunshine. Enjoy that sunlight, y'all. Enjoy that sunlight. So, with all that being said, we're going to get right into it. And we are live on YouTube. And we on Instagram too. You know what I'm saying? We on Instagram. Waiting for Instagram to act right. Instagram tripping. You heard? But YouTube is popping. Everything's copacetic on that end. And check this out. We gonna run through a couple of highlights right now. The highlights that we gonna talk about. Number one, the World Cup is coming out here. So we gotta talk about the World Cup. We gotta talk about what my guy Just Cheeze is doing, because he got an activation that he did at the James Room yesterday for the Kentucky Derby. Shout out to all the people who put some bread on a winning horse, you know, on that thoroughbred. Speaking of horses, somebody talked about Zed Run. I think that project is totally dead because mad NFT projects are dead. But shout out to all the people who made money betting on that game, y'all. Actually, the race, I should say. And we also gonna talk about, I ain't even gonna lie, NFTia, she's in the building today. I gotta get her thoughts on everything that transpired in DC, because she was out there in DC with Stand With Crypto. We got to talk about her progress, well, their progress that they made out there, and some of the connections, some of the people that they spoke to, and how does it feel to be in this new role as a president of the Georgia chapter for Stand With Crypto. So, NFT, how you feeling? Congratulations.
Thank you. It feels good to be back on the couch, man. It's been quite a few weeks since I've sat here. This is my first time on this particular couch, so this feels amazing. Man, this 2026 has been a roller coaster for real. Was announced vice president, and then some unforeseen things happened, and then I was asked to be the president of the state chapter, which is the Georgia state chapter for Stand With Crypto. And I definitely obliged, because there are a lot of things that I feel like, really well. But then I also feel like there are things that we can do.
That's right.
And so I just want to continue carrying that torch that the previous president did leave, and then continue off of that work and making sure that we're solidifying Georgia as not just one, but the most crypto forward state in the country. And it coincides with the 10 and 5 mission. So I'm just happy to be in a position to be able to continue to work and continue the body of work that was already, laid before me. So that's what I'm excited about. I got the news not this past Tuesday, but 2 Tuesdays ago, about 10 days ago, and signed my contract that Thursday. That Thursday night, I was asked, can I go to DC? I was doing stuff with my mom that Friday. Literally that next morning, like 12 hours later, booking flights and learning how to work systems in real time so that I can, properly go through the motions of you know, in the DC. So it was a very fast moving thing and process. And got to DC, flew out on Wednesday, and I told like a lot of the team members on our call, man, I just wanted to get some rest. So that whole Wednesday in DC, I got there, I never left the hotel. I just was there getting some rest because I was already, you know, tired, and I knew I had a busy weekend. I had a busy 5 days ahead of me, so I just wanted to pace myself. Man, y'all know I tore my meniscus in at the end of February. So that Thursday morning, you know, we have breakfast as a team, and then from the hotel we're walking up the hill.
Damn.
You know, and we're walking the whole entire Capitol. Like it's not just one building, because each senator is in different buildings, and so we're walking the whole entire Congress. We got to go deliver to all the members of the Senate Banking Committee. So we might have to go to this building, Russell Building, Hart Building, you know, and really go and deliver and shake hands. And then one of the cool things was on Friday I was asked to. We were all asked to get meetings with our senators that are on the Senate for Banking Committee, because that's the committee that handles the markup and passes it on, so passes the torch. And so I was the only one to get a physical meet and greet with my senator, wow, Raphael Warnock. So big shout out to Raphael Warnock for that. And then I also was able to get a 30-minute meeting, sit down with his chief of staff. And that was just cool to see where they are at as it relates to the Clarity Act and just the digital asset space in general. I'm not going to go too deep into the conversation. If you want to know what's going on in the conversation, we're having a recap this Thursday at OTC, so you won't get all the juice today. But it's a lot of juice to squeeze. One of the highlights was when I shook Raphael Warnock's hand, though. I introduced myself. I'm Tia Atlanta Blockchain Center, president of Stand With Crypto Georgia chapter, newly appointed president of Stand With Crypto Georgia chapter. That man said, I know who you are. Your reputation supersedes you.
Hey,
that's one of them things where, man, like sometimes it feel like we in this space and our work is not paying off. Just stay in them trenches and keep going, because you really never know who's watching you. And it just so happened that they're familiar with not just that I've been doing, but the work that we're all doing. And I'm gonna
know that, you know, you tore your meniscus and you was trekking in DC. You know what I'm saying? Now that's a task within itself, but you were in of our senators
and get a full meeting with the chief of staff.
With the chief of staff as well. Tia, I'm gonna just tell you like this: nobody is cooking like you're cooking in this space. The way you're able to pivot every time something is thrown your way, you're able to make a pivot, and the universe just opens up doors for you.
I appreciate that.
And every door that I've seen you walk through, not only did you make your presence felt, you represented as a woman of color in this space. You're knowledgeable. You know how to conduct yourself professionally. And you don't duck no smoke. And you be with the shit sometimes too. So like, you know, you gotta be well-rounded in this space, man. You know what I'm saying? So I'm happy, you know, that, you know, first that you pulled up today and held it down for Just Cheeze. Shout out to Just Cheeze.
Shout out.
You know what I'm saying? But yeah, your work, you know, I'm glad that it was being recognized by somebody like Raphael Warnock. You know what I'm saying? Like that's major. That's major.
Appreciate that.
Yeah, man. The eyes on us. The eyes are on us. You know, ABC, what we do here. You know, we made a pivot. We at the right center, and like you mentioned, we had to people in these seatings around here. You know what I mean? We had some positions that had to be filled, and Tia stepped it up, and I feel like she's the best candidate that we have for that. You know what I'm saying? But unfortunately, everybody can't make it. Everybody can't go. You know what I mean? So some people cross themselves out of this space, man. But, more blessings to you, brother. Hope you get your mind right, man. That's the only thing I'm going to say. You know what I'm saying? Just, get your mind right, brother.
One last thing that I want to say is, this Thursday for OTC is going to be a dynamic Thursday. And we have a lot of great discussions. But I want it to be really inclusive because the work that needs to be done in Georgia is, when I say the team at the Senate talked about the Atlanta block, they mentioned it at least 10 times.
Wow.
They want us to lead. And I think we don't really recognize what's in front of us. And we're right. Sometimes it may feel like we are so far behind, or the market is down. We're in a bear market. It can be overwhelming. I tell you, advocate for this space, and more importantly, to advocate for, just leave that.
Preach. Oh, man. Tia, you said a mouthful. And we all going to step it up to the plate to make sure that happens. We still on that 10 and 5 mission, y'all. So ain't nothing changed. You know what I mean? Just the players. You heard? So, with that being said, how did you enjoy the event last night? We got us, number one, shout out Jay Rich. He threw a RB event last night. Just Cheeze threw Kentucky Derby event at the James Room. So did you go to both? Because I didn't get a chance to make it out there. I was on the grind. Mm-hmm. But tell me about how your experience was last night, and what were like the most memorable moments? You know what I'm saying? Because this wasn't Web3 really orientated. It was more like a kickback.
So I was already here because just catching up on work all day. Then I shot over to the James Room around like 4 or 5-ish. And it was cool. It was slow. People were coming in slowly. But as people started to come in, I started to engage. Then also, I think there's get X, Y, and Z what this was. It was like, oh, let me figure this out. Eager to part of Skylark Quest. And it's good to see, Skylark thriving outside of your traditional Web3 areas and communities. This is a bar, a speakeasy, and with a huge tequila brand, which is Hiadera. So I'm just really proud of the work that Joe is doing. He's working a full-time job. The cohort that we're in is really demanding, and he just keeps on holding everything down. So it was good. I told somebody that was there when they was doing the activation, they're like, you run this place? I'm like, nah. Mm-hmm. And it was like, you just look like you run this. And I told him, I said, nah, I'm just telling y'all, I'm just walking up to these tables and telling y'all what to do, because it's not too much I'm not going to do. If it's in my power, I'm going to do it for that guy out there. And so that's what it was about. And we had some meaningful conversation, but it was really ultimately just really good to see Skylark out in the community and doing what it's supposed to do, and seeing the evolution of Skylark.
Now, quick question. Great segue. About to ask you. Skylark, it's a new interface, right? It's a new user interface on it.
Clean.
Okay.
Clean, very easy to use. And the guys were super happy. The ones that I helped to get their shots and stuff like that. There was some feedback. And you already know Joe gonna go retweak the recipe, but even when the bar chef was there, he's like, wow, it's just moving very smoothly. So again, big shout out to Joe the work that you're doing. It definitely don't go unnoticed. Now, Jay Rich's event. You know, if I go out, a speakeasy ain't my preference. I'm here. I'm not there for a long time. I'm there for a good time.
Hey.
And Jay Rich. Yeah. I don't even know if I had that much fun in Atlanta yet. It was. I just told T.Gold, I was dragging my right leg because I danced for 3 hours straight. Tequila and low-key twerking. Time was had last night. For those who didn't show up, you just be missing out because, man, if you can get out and do community stuff, man, the community is still popping. And this was one of them things. This was one of the best times I've had out in the city of Atlanta.
Dope.
And I danced on a guy in 15 years. I said, shit about to turn my heart sung because it reminded me of when I was growing up. They had the girl doing a little heart dance, the up and down thing. It was dance off. Jeff, we call him XRP Jeff in our community. He got in the circle and was doing a dance off. Like everybody was dancing and having a good time, vibing. It's a lot of hangovers today. It's a lot of hangovers this morning. A few people party too hard, but it was worth it. So,
yo, man, listen. I knew I wasn't gonna be able to make it just because I had a lot going on. But I'm gonna tell y'all like this, man. I already knew the turn up was gonna be super lit, man. Because the last event, Jay Rich came through with the DJs. He kind of like MC and like kind of maestro the whole night with his energy, man. So I knew it was gonna be a lit event, especially on some R&B vibes. You know what I mean? So it sounded like I had a good time. You know what I mean? Dancing for 3 hours. People getting toe up from the flow up. Having hangovers and all that. That's what it's about, man. Because a lot of times in this space, we usually just doing like Web3 events. Speaking of Web3 events, we got what? Pizza Day coming up May 22nd.
Yeah.
Right? But it's rare that you see us outside of the Web3 space. You know what I'm saying? Pull up last night at Jay Rich's event, had a good time, kicked it, turned up. Yeah, man. So I'm looking forward to seeing the photos and the videos and all that. You heard? So yeah. The segue, shout out to Jay Rich again. Shout out to Just Cheeze. We got more events coming through. You know what I'm saying? There's a Mother's Day event at the James Room that Cheeze is putting together. Mm-hmm. There's one more event too. I gotta look at the flyers he sent me, but I think there's one more event.
Cinco de Mayo.
Cinco de Mayo, boom, that's what it is. The Cinco de Mayo.
F1 today.
We got F1 today going on. So after this, we're gonna pull up there. So shout out to Just Cheeze and Memorial Day. So I'm looking forward to all of the activations, that he put together for the James Room, man. So speaking of being litty in the city, Tia, great segue. Let's talk about Bitcoin Pizza Day. What we got going on for Bitcoin Pizza Day?
Oh, man. So, like, this Pizza Day, we really want to focus on engagement, not just in our close community, but we really want to use it as a bridge for policymakers and politicians. Even though it will be a few days after the election, we still want to invite them out. Those crypto-friendly politicians to come out and engage with the community and their constituents.
You said that's going to be after the election?
It is going to be after the preliminary primary elections.
Gotcha.
Yes.
Okay.
And I think that's May 19th, and then Pizza Day is the 22nd.
Gotcha.
So, but still, we're still going to invite them out. Mm-hmm. And then Atlanta has some heavy-hitting crypto companies that we want to get out.
That's right.
So we want to invite a lot of those big-name companies out to the fold and just not to just come and network, just to network, but really just to come together as community and have a good time. We don't do enough of that. Everything is all work, no play around here. Let's have some fun. Let's get to know each other in a lighter setting. So that's what I'm looking forward to.
Yeah, because we don't want to mention the names. We don't want to, prematurely mention the names of some of the Web3 companies. that some of our members work for. You know what I'm saying? But speaking of that, I got to segue into our other co-host for today. We got E3. He's up here on stage. I got to see how he's doing, how his weekend was. Did he pull up to any of these events? I'm not going to mention the company he works for unless he wants to, but he does work for a Web3 company. And hopefully, you know, we can get them, like Tia said, to be, you know, a part of some of our events, not just, you know, strictly Web3, but just events in this community. You know what I mean? So E3, how you doing? How you feeling? How was your weekend? And do you want to mention the company you work for, or are we going to keep that a wrap?
Yo, what's going on, everybody? Yeah, I don't mind letting people know. Can you hear me first and foremost?
Yes, sir. We hear you loud and clear, brother.
Okay, cool. All right, sweet. So, yeah, I work for Circle, and I'm a customer care representative there. So basically, I help people out with their issues when it comes to their accounts that they use and like specific transactions and stuff they may be wondering about. It also goes into like further detail, but just to keep it short, essentially, I'm just helping people figure out how to navigate their like blockchain issues, USDC issues. Cool. I like it a lot, for real. But the weekend was good, man. I'm not gonna lie. I had a good time. Shit, I'm not gonna even So overall, it was a fun weekend. Saturday alone, it was full of so many events. But overall, it was cool because Bleu gave us some tickets to this conference to go to, and it was like this men's winning circle conference, and it was really informative just to see the type of messages that they were telling us and the things that we should pay attention to, especially as people in this world. And I think that the highlight of Saturday definitely was the Jay Rich event, but I also went to this tennis event. Shout out to Brandon. He told me about this a long time ago. He sent it to me, so I was like, I'm definitely gonna check this out. And it was like this tennis and tequila event, and I had everybody out there. Like, I was like, oh shit, this is a definitely different type of Atlanta scene. And I was like, yeah, I'm definitely gonna be sticking around here.
Hold on, E3. You said a tennis and tequila event. So wait, let me get this right. Did you go to the James room?
No, I didn't get to go to the James room.
I was about to say, bro. I'm like, you went to all of those events, bro. I'm like, I know you was wasted, but man. All right, so you went to a tequila and tennis event, then you followed it up with the Jay Rich event. So I know it was mad tequila being poured out this whole weekend, you know, for our ABC fan. That's crazy, yo. But continue about the tennis and tequila.
Yeah, so the tennis and tequila event was real cool because, I mean, the type of the audience there, you know, that was, I'm not gonna lie, that was a super nice audience. Type of people that came out to that. So, especially with me being a volunteer, it's like I got to, you know, talk to everybody that was there. And there was like these group of people. It was a funny story because I was trying to volunteer for them for their last event. And I was like, yo, I registered for this a couple months ago. Y'all just gonna say I can't volunteer. And then this time when I volunteered, I'm gonna shorten this, but this time when I volunteered, it was like these girls. They were like all running. They're like, "Oh, so you're Elijah, huh?" And then they were just trying to talk to me and all this shit for a while. And then after I left, I just was like, "Yo, just keep me in the loop for y'all's events." And they were all getting up and trying to say "Oh, bye." I was like, "Oh shit, yeah, I'm definitely."
So basically, they was giving you some rhythm. It sounds like you know, you was being a smooth operator like you is out there, man. Yeah, man. E3 had motion out there.
And then the James Jay Rich event though, that was the highlight. Just seeing everybody at the event, all of us in there, it was definitely one of one for the memories for sure, because I had like the Run Club squad in there, then we had the ABC squad in there, and then we had like all of Jay Rich people. It was like, man, this is everything right here, and we were all just having a good time. And seeing the ABC group ducked off in the corner, I was like, this is like they were the mob or something. Like they're chilling out while everybody else is chilling, having a good time. But yeah, it was a good weekend.
Yo, E3, yo, that's funny, yo. Yo, I already knew, man, you know, Web3, man, sometimes we like, you know, a secret society, man. All we got is trust, man. We got to move like that, man. You know what I mean? That is so funny, man. But I appreciate that recap, man. It sounded like you had a great time, man. It sounded like you had a great time, man. So, you know, I ain't gonna lie, man. I turned up on Thursday, man. The Knicks, you know, we spanked up on the Hawks. Great fucking time out there. So, you know, I had to stay on the grind, man. Can't have too much fun, man. But I already know this is just the beginning, y'all. We got Cinco de Mayo coming. We got more events cooking up. E3 mentioned the company he worked for. Hopefully, you know, we can get Circle to be a part of some of our events, you know. Think about that, man. We got the World Cup coming next month. We got 30 days, 30 plus days before they come out here and start the first official game. You know what I'm saying? I got the printer printing right now, the 3D printed items. You know, at the end, I'm going to pull out because we missing the table around here. So for the visual pleasure on YouTube, Instagram tripping. I don't know what's going on with Instagram. But on YouTube, at the end, I'm going to pull up some of the tags, the bag tags that we got for all of the teams coming out here for the World Cup. So we gearing up for that. So we not playing no games. I'm sure that we're going to be throwing some Web3 orientated events during the World Cup, so I'm looking to that. I have some vibey events. I know Jay Rich probably gonna Memorial Day event because I know he gonna at least vent. You know what I'm saying, during that weekend. So I'm looking forward to that. It's getting hotter. Actually, it's kind of cold out here in Georgia. You know, right now. You know, we in the A. Right, you know, it's beautiful. It's sunny, but you know the weather is bipolar. If you've been in the A, you already know what time it is, man. But man, so and May 22nd, Pizza Day. You know what I'm saying? So there's so much going on. I'm so glad to be a part of this community. I got like 3 ideas, you know what I'm saying, that I got going on in my head. These are brand new, fresh ideas. So it's, man, your boy is constantly cooking. There's not enough time in the day to cook up everything that your boy want to put out, man. You know what I'm saying? But eventually, y'all gonna see it, man, because shirts is being cooked up. 3D printed items is being cooked up. Events are being planned. So we lit in the city, man. So shout out to everybody in the ABC community who came out, showed support, pulled up. You know what I mean? This is what we do, man. We stay litty in the city, y'all. So we're going to get right into it, man. So that was some of the house cleaning items that we wanted to talk about. You know what I'm saying? Yeah, and then after this, we're going to the Grand Prix event at the James Room that Just Cheeze is putting together. That's why he's not here. So shout out to Just Cheeze, man. He's out there working his ass off, man. That's what he do, man. That's what he do. So I know at the top of the pod, Tia talked about her time in DC. So we're going to spin the block on DC, all right? So what we are going to talk about, I thought this was super, super interesting that we finally got some motion on the Clarity Act. So this is what's going on. Brad Garlinghouse, he was one of the first Web3 people, you know, he's behind Ripple. He was like, yo, just sign the act. You know what I mean? Just pass it. Just get it passed. You know what I'm saying? And then, lo and behold, Brian Armstrong from Coinbase, he got on board finally. So it looks like because of him and Coinbase, because, you know, that's the guy behind Coinbase, they finally got some motion in DC. So a major step forward in U.S. crypto regulation has emerged as Coinbase confirmed lawmakers reached a bipartisan deal on stablecoin deal within the Clarity Act. All right, let's give that a round of applause. That's a round of applause. All right, so this is resolving the biggest issue that had stalled the bill. So the compromise led by Senators Tom Tillis Did you meet Tom Tillis? I haven't even heard of him. And Angela also Brooks, that's a very interesting last name, prohibits passive interest like earning simply for holding stable coins while allowing rewards tied to actual usage like payments or on-chain activity, balancing concerns from banks with crypto innovation. So this bill was led by them, and I'm so happy that we finally got this thing passed, right? Well, it's close to being passed. So with this key hurdle cleared, the legislation is now expected to move forward to the Senate, all right? So potentially this will unlock the first major U.S. framework governing digital assets, including market structure, stablecoins, and regulatory oversight. So, when do you think this will be passed? Did you hear any rumblings in D.C.? How do you feel? I'm looking at Tia, you know what I'm saying? But for the people who don't know, I'm posing this question to Tia because she was out there in D.C. And when you spoke, I'm assuming when you spoke to Mason, without giving up too much, can you fill us in on like his perspective on the progress Stand With Crypto specifically has made with Coinbase to get this Clarity Act passed?
So it's not just Coinbase. It's a whole collective, and so that right there just needs clarity in itself. Coinbase is one player that blockchain association. So, but I will say this, and this comes back to a conversation that I had with the guy who was here when we talked about the House Bill 1272 with Georgia,
Gotcha.
Luther.
Okay. Yes.
We were having the same conversation, and it's full circle. I think the optimism has risen a lot. He talked about if we don't get at least a markup before the May elections, clarity, there's so many other pressing issues that it's going to be very easy to take the Senate's attention. And I think that was very true. When we were on Capitol Hill, the optimism to me, especially when talking to Georgia's representatives, was definitely favorable in my opinion.
That's good to know.
I feel like, and I think something that a lot of people don't know is that the Genius Act came down to one vote.
Wow.
And that was Raphael Warnock.
Wow.
And so to have that level of, see, they have a lot of conviction because they definitely, and from the conversation, it's about protecting people too, which I respect and I appreciate. You know, crypto, we've all fell victim to some type of fraud or
scam or something.
Fraud, scam, or just unfavorable situation where we got taken up top, for the lack of better words. And so, and to me, like, that's one of the things that's putting in safety rails as much as we can to protect not just Georgians but Americans, which I definitely applaud and appreciate. But with that being said, I do feel like they understand the value and the power that this technology has, and also understanding keeping America in the forefront and allowing innovation to flourish.
That's right.
So with that being said, I feel optimistic that the markup is going to happen here soon, and the markup is essentially the Senate Banking Committee going ahead and marking it up and saying, hey, we approved this, let's go ahead and send it to the rest of the Senate and go through the whole due process of getting a bill to go into law. And so I do believe that will happen. The markup happens before the election. I think we could see clarity by as early as July.
That's good. Man, I really hope that they can get this done. Like you said, the primaries are before the 22nd of May. So we got a couple of weeks, all right? Man, thank you for that insight. My only concern is that they're trying to prohibit some of the interest yield bearing that we're going to get from stable coins. So I'm 50-50 on this. You know what I'm
Yeah.
saying? I'm really 50 on this. I'm glad because this is something that the banks didn't want us to have. You know what I'm saying? So we kind of took a L, but if you in DeFi and you on, I don't know, Hyperliquid, you know, you can get your interest on stable coins. You know what I'm saying? It's just the fact that we can't, I don't know, maybe I got a Coinbase account. Maybe now I can't get my yield on Coinbase now. That might be the issue. But as far as like decentralized exchanges like Hyperliquid and shit like that, like we should be able to still have our yield coming from stable coins. So it's just another avenue we won't be able to have that. So I think that's the only caveat with this bill is that they deaded the yield. You know
Yeah,
what I'm saying?
but the way that you can look at it is that stable coins are issued through T bills. T bills traditionally, so that's where the yield comes from because they're issuing it through T bills, and that yield is passed off to the users or
That's right.
the stakers of that stable coin. But as more stable coins go into existence, those T bill yields are going to dilute anyways. So that same yield that we get right now, no matter what, is going to dilute because there's going to be more liquidity injected into the market via T bills, which lessens that return on those T bills, which in essence, sort of that trade off is a cool little trade off to me, in my opinion. Because if at first they were trying to take they were negotiating, we don't get anything, no DeFi rewards or anything, which is crazy. So they've came over a lot, like even to the point where we are going to be able to see some stablecoin rewards, which I thought was not even going to happen. So what that means for Georgia is that because we're going to get those stablecoin yield in some facet, then guess what? That means that liquid agent and the things that it's doing because it's working for its yield.
That's right.
They're cool.
That's right.
There might be some gray area, but they're going to be able to do their thing. What that means for the stable coins that we stake, we may be giving up yield, but guess what? We would have been losing yield anyways, just because of the vast amount of money that's about to be injected into the ethos,
Right.
the Web3 ethos. So what we lost really wasn't as much. It's a cool trade off, in my opinion, basis what we still get to keep.
Good point. E3, what's your thoughts on this, brother? Like, like the issue with yield coming from banks with stable coins or on-chain activity, they're trying to dead that in this Clarity Act. But as far as DEXs, decentralized exchanges, we good. We copacetic. What's your thoughts, E3?
I want to say first and foremost, the way that Tia just described that right there, like, in my opinion, really just captures one of the reasons why it's like why the yield would not be as like a benefit to people holding like their USDC or something on a platform anyway. But I think that the aspect that it's going to be tied to like the on-chain activity and stuff, like not reaping rewards as well, being like a downside, would be because like now people may not be like, it may turn a certain group of people away from the industry, but I mean, the people that are really here, in my opinion, are just going to be here.
That's right.
And some things we, as we grow, we just have to accept, especially as we see ourselves like remaining a part of the industry. But I think that the DeFi just adds like an extra layer to the world of blockchain and just crypto in general. So I feel like the people actually interacting with DeFi can utilize those platforms just because of the amount of risk that's like already tied to it anyway, if that makes sense. Because I know that those are like another world in itself. So, and outside of these offering, that's
get on this well, continue to monitor the situation, and when they finally pass this, we will be announcing this ASAP, all right? So, we just got to keep our eyes on this bill because we already know Trump is going to sign off on it, but we got to see what the Senate is going to do. But most Republicans are pro-crypto, so more than likely it should get passed. We're going to see. Hopefully it will get passed. It'll be a hot summer. Maybe we can turn this market around, all right? Matter of fact, Tia, do me a favor. Can you check CoinMarketCap or CoinGecko to see where Bitcoin and Ethereum is right now so we can get some real-time data on that? But to segue into voting, all right, into segue in crypto regulation, I thought this was super interesting, y'all. We got a lot of work cut out for us, all right? Here at the Atlanta Blockchain Center, we have Off the Chain Thursdays every Thursday where we educate people. Just Cheeze, Joseph Lewis, he puts together phenomenal sessions along with some speakers that we have that come through. Tia was a part of last week's session as well too. So just know that pull up to ABC educated, whether you're in politics, whether you're in tech, whether you're in fashion, whether you're just entertainment in general, man. Pull up, get educated, all right? Because this next story I'm going to talk about is super, super important. Guess what they said? They said, this is done by CoinDesk, all right? There was a survey that was done by CoinDesk. This survey shows that crypto remains a low priority for U.S. voters heading into the 2026 midterms despite growing industry investment and lobbying efforts, with only about 1% of respondents naming it as their top issue and just 3% ranking it as most important overall. I was upset. I was a little disappointed when I read this article. This came from CoinDesk. So, everyday concerns like cost of living, jobs, and healthcare continues to dominate, while even emerging technologies like AI rank slightly than crypto in importance. So, public sentiment towards crypto also remains largely negative across most voter groups, though adoption is gradually increasing, with around 27% of voters having used or invested in digital assets, and a similar share open to future involvement. All right. So here's the thing. If 27% of the people CoinDesk surveyed, and CoinDesk is like a major crypto news publication, they said crypto is ranking 1% out of the top priority things. You know, healthcare, the economy. I totally get that. Jobs, cost of living. I totally get that. But my question to my co-host and my listeners, do you think because we're in a bear market, the sentiment is this low? Or do you really feel like all of the stuff that's been going on in DC that Trump actually ran on didn't actually pan out? Groceries didn't go down. Cost of living didn't go down. A lot of people who voted for Trump are disappointed. We're going to see the reaction in the elections. But voters right now don't give a fuck about crypto. And I actually had a conversation with one of my homies, and I told him I'm now branding myself like tech, mainly because I got a digital 3D printed digital business card, right? That connects to my Blink card. But I notice when I'm not in my crypto groups and community, and I talk about, crypto, and I say the word, I see the look on people's faces. The same look I was getting when I said NFT. So remember I said we got to rebrand it. I don't say NFTs no more. I say digital collectibles. You know what I mean? So when I talk about crypto and being out there in the mix with the people, because if people's sentiment on crypto is so low, they're not going to be interested in even being educated in this space. If they see crypto is in the tank. People ain't making money. They like, yo, it's over with. NFTs over with. You know what I'm saying? Fortunately, Bored Ape is making a comeback, but outside of that, NFTs are still in the tank. Crypto, Bitcoin hit up to almost 80K this week. It went up to like 79.
It's at 79 now.
So, it's in a tight channel. Very, very tight channel. Man, my concern is the branding and marketing of crypto. Crypto has a major PR issue. So when I say I brand myself as somebody in tech, it's easier for people to digest rather than say, yo, I do crypto news, Web3. People, because I say Web3 so much, when I say it to regular people, they still have no idea what it is. So I got to catch myself. So when I'm out, I don't know if y'all came across this issue, but the way I have to, promote my brand in what I do here, as far as Web3 journalism, I just have to say, yo, I do journalism where I talk about tech, AI, I'm a graphic designer, and I do 3D printing. Just so people can digest what I do. Mm-hmm. Now, marketing and branding, because I'm a graphic designer, this is something that I do, and I feel like this is key to any business, no matter what we're building, whether it's DocuHero, whether it's Skylark, whether it's ABC. Marketing and branding is something that I really feel like we should prioritize more to help the voters get a better understanding of overall industry, the ecosystem of just blockchain technology. I know that was a lot, but I had to get that off. NFTia, hold on, let me see if anybody got their hand up right quick. Yes, E3 got his hand up. And then after you, E3, I'm going to give it to Tia.
All right, cool. So, yeah, what I was going to say real quick is when it comes to just the branding thing, too, even for myself, I just say, because I used to say a lot, like, yeah, I'm really involved in, like, blockchain technology and infrastructure and stuff. When I would tell people what I'm doing, they would be either, like, not necessarily turned away in a bad way, but they wouldn't be, like, really as interested in talking about it. But now when I say, like, what I do, I just say I work in fintech. I just say fintech. And they're like, oh, okay, cool. Because sometimes people aren't even as interested in even knowing about things like that unless they're really drawn to you. But the other thing is about crypto being ranked near the bottom of voters' priorities. It doesn't surprise me necessarily. I mean, it doesn't surprise me, honestly, because it's not like a pretty subject to talk about amongst just like everyday regular people. And what can make it interesting is actually giving it a little more spice or something. It's like, we don't really see it being promoted like every day, like Sprite commercials and stuff like that actually, gets people interested. They have like things that like satisfy people on like a psychological level, if that makes sense.
Good point.
But yeah, I think that it was always here to stay anyway, even regardless of what like Trump is doing or if somebody else was elected. I think that the progress was always going to like make its way into mainstream. It's just we have all these other factors at play right now in the world, and I can see why it's not people's priority, even though it's something that's going to change the way we live forever. But it's not, like I said, a pretty subject to talk about because it's not super interesting outside of the people that actually care about it.
Unfortunately, you're right, man, and we care, man. That's why we're here every week, man. You know what I mean? This episode 116, TCK Web3 News Roundtable, this is what we do. We talk about it, good, bad, ugly, mark it up, mark it down, we here. NFTia, what's your thoughts?
So I really feel like it's supposed to be at 1%.
Good take. Well, hot take.
I mean, just think about it. Like, if you really think about it, it's how many Americans actually own crypto and are really truly passionate about the actual technology that's about the percentage. Really, I mean,
That's fair.
there's
assessment.
more that own it and have speculated, but really that's like gung ho about crypto. We're about 1%. That doesn't change how much money is being funded through blockchain technology into these elections. I probably would even say it's not that far off from the Trump election or any other election at any other time. If you compare it to 2020, we're probably doing even better. So seriously,
Yeah, not in that perspective, yes.
yeah.
You're
So
right.
it's cool. It's still a baby. You know, like people don't care about it like that. Like just like at this content catalyst, and we live in our bubble so much that we think that like we are so engulfed in this space. But when I just stepped out, they asked me to teach no, we're gonna pay for this, like, you know. And in my mind, I'm like, man, everybody around me, they're using Claude to do a lot of process. You know, they have agents. You know, I mean, it's so normal for us that it's not as normal for the everyday person. This is just part of the growth, right? In terms of like rebranding and calling it crypto, this is the perfect time that we actually go tell it on the mountains, over the hills, and everywhere, because we don't want to be the same people that we talk about, the Earn Your Leisures and all of them getting people up on this stuff during the hype cycle. Like if we wait until it's cool, then we're no better than them, because this is when we tell them this is where the opportunity is. So yes, I'm in crypto, and yes, this right here, this time right now. Yes, the market may go down a little bit more, but most of the blood is already on the streets. I'm gonna be honest. So if you're gonna start to DCA right now is the time. I'm telling everybody, you broke right now, bread costs a lot, go buy some crypto. Take if the bread is $2, take $2.50, put the $2 on the bread, put the 50 cents in crypto to make up, and it's gonna make up on the back end. So this is the perfect time to go tell it on the mountains and spread the gospel. I'm not ducking no smoke. I'm in crypto, and you should be too.
Yo, Tia, man, you smoked that. Yo, Tia, you smoked that. Yo, I like your conviction. I like your approach. And for me, how I do it, I really navigate the public setting based on where I'm at. So I always talk about what I do is crypto Web3 journalism to educate. The most important aspect of this is understanding that it's a technology. So that's the reason why I put emphasis on that, and I just tell them crypto is a byproduct of the technology. You know what I'm saying? Because I want to make the tech look fly and sexy and what we can do with it. You know what I'm saying? Just like how we put NFC chips into our 3D printed items. You know, we can tie that to an NFT and people won't even know it's tied to an NFT, but just, you get a digital collectible when you buy the physical aspect. So it's a cool way to, like, my approach is more of a cooler way to market it and brand it. You know what I'm saying? Because I want to do it in a way, put the medicine in the candy.
Yep.
You know what I'm saying? That's my approach. But I love your approach. You know what I'm saying? And depending on our settings, we know how to move. We know how to, navigate, and we know when to press that button. When it comes to like, this is what you need to be in. We know it's an opportunity. We still got our bags of crypto. It may not be as healthy as we want it to be, but hey, we in it. You know what I'm saying? And that's right. That's right. So yeah, we got conviction, y'all. We got conviction. So, all right, let's talk about, speaking of conviction, you know who else got conviction? The Pentagon. The Pentagon, one of the things that I highlighted today, if you look at the tweet that I posted, was AI. The stories that we're going to run down right now all involve AI. So now AI is the sexiest thing on the block, sexier than crypto, truth be told. So I I say AI first before I say I'm in crypto, just to catch them. Then, it's always the medicine and the candy. You know what I'm saying? So, with that being said, let's talk about what the Pentagon is doing, all right? So, the U.S. Department of Defense has struck major agreements with top tech firms, including OpenAI, Google, Microsoft, Amazon Web Services, NVIDIA, and SpaceX, to deploy advanced AI systems across classified military networks, signaling a major escalation in the global AI arms race. These tools will support intelligent analysis of real-time decision-making, cybersecurity, and operational planning as the Pentagon aims to build an AI-first fighting force. They probably had a good conversation with Trump about that. That sounds like something he would say. This fighting force will be capable of maintaining an edge over global rivals like China. While officials stress that AI will remain under human oversight and include safeguards against misuse, we definitely gonna need that. The partnerships have sparked ethical concerns within the tech industry about the role of AI in warfare and potential risks of accelerated automated decision making. Ooh, that's a hot topic. So, man, you know what? Thoughts for less on this because I want to hear. And if anybody else in the crowd has any thoughts or comments, feel free, raise your hand. We got y'all.
Yeah. So for me, I'm not budging on my stance on this and how AI should be policed. Policing another thing, especially at the government level, especially something as powerful as this, is trash. Here's a few reasons. One, they regulate too fucking slow. They can't keep up. Period. Secondly, I feel like Anthropic was doing the right thing by when they said they're going to open source it, because if they know, like I think I know, and I may not be as smart as some of them, but damn it, I got enough street smarts to know that this is too fast and it needs to be open source so we can see exactly what's under that hood at all times.
Good point.
Secondly, only AI is going to be able to police AI. It's moving too fast. Now,
hot take.
Period. Like, it needs to be open source. It needs to be flagged for bad actors. And it needs to be, AI is going to have to police AI at this point, right? Secondly, as soon as the government gets their hands on this and can tell it when and what it can't do, we already see what Elon is doing in the red tape and the new part of the digital red taping that's going on, and leaving complete African languages completely out of this. Literally already providing red taping. We see it like in people applying for 100 jobs at one time. And because AI is able to detect that it's a black man, now there's lawsuits going for it because AI is already being shown to be biased. Again, another reason why we need to see what's under the hood. What's going into the decision-making part of these languages. You know what I'm saying? These large and small language models. Why isn't there representation? All these things they don't need policing. They need inclusivity and openness and fairness.
Good point.
Pull the curtain back. Let us see what's going on. That's what needs to happen. We don't need the government to do another set of policing and targeting and allowing technology to do their dirty work. That's dead.
I like that. It's actually a great take, Tia. Great take, and I appreciate your concerns. E3, what's your thoughts, brother?
So what Tia said, again, great point. I couldn't agree more with that. I just wanted to add on to that too, what the Pentagon is doing. We talked about it at the OTC. We saw the Pentagon is running the Bitcoin nodes now for like research purposes and stuff. So, the government is always have their hands tied in this stuff, but now they're just being public about it. and I'm really interested in seeing how they're going to utilize the Bitcoin nodes to do their business. But to add on to that, we already know as well, anytime the government gets involved with something, I heard it always becomes more expensive and less efficient. And it's like, that's a funny saying because, you know, they're supposed to be taking care of our needs and stuff, but it's like they take forever. Like Tia was saying, they'll take like 30 years just to do one thing.
Mm-hmm.
And sometimes it's good, but sometimes it's like, dang, man, if they were just kind of let this work itself out, it might be a different story.
Yo, E3. Oh, shit.
Very good.
E3, great point, man.
Very good.
So, look, both my co-hosts made very strong points, and I'm going to double down on both sentiments, man. Just know that I definitely feel like AI needs to police AI, and to Tia's point, these large language models need to be open source so we can see what's under the hood. Now, the biasness, that's going to be there. So we need more black people in tech. We need people who understand coding. If you got youth and they into all of this other shit that has nothing to do with AI or blockchain technology, if you got anybody under 18 and you're not teaching them or making them aware of blockchain, AI, or coding, these biases that Tia and E3 mentioned, yo, listen, it's gonna be there. You know, we gotta understand these coding languages. You know what I'm saying? We got the coding languages that they use Ethereum. Solidity. You know, try to take courses on that if you can, if you have youth that are interested in technology so they can take advantage of this. So we got to work from the inside to fix what's wrong with the system. We've been on the outside, you know, so I feel like we know. You remember the first defensive contract with AI that said, hey, I think it was Anthropic, they pulled out of the deal because they didn't want to have the surveillance and use AI for autonomous, you know, military attacks? That's total legit, so I tip my hat off to them. But there are going to be companies that are going to do some rogue, wild, unethical shit, you know, so yeah, we're going to need AI players who got ethics. You know, and Anthropic so far looks like they have some integrity. But this is going to be a very tricky can of worms going forward as far as AI and defense, and especially regulation, because we definitely got crypto regulation on the horizon, but they don't talk about AI regulation. And like to Tia's point, they already take forever to regulate something. And if they should have at least 3 to 4 AI bills passed by now. How long we been using ChatGPT and C-Dance and Gemini, and how long we been using all of these platforms?
Google has been beefing up AI and really one of the leading innovators in the AI space since 2008. Like they have been pushing AI more than probably most tech companies, and most people don't know it. So this is Google. They know, they see what's being innovated. They understand it. That's almost 20 years, no regulation. They move too slow.
Great point. Man, so I really feel like we're just as passionate about crypto as we are about AI, because we all using it. You know what I'm saying? Shit's like peanut butter and jelly at this point, like the analogy that we've been using, you know? So yeah, I appreciate both my co-hosts' thoughts on that. And we're gonna skip over one story, y'all, because it's an international story. I'm gonna just read it just because it's interesting and we don't have to take a deep dive on it. But I just thought that this was interesting because this can be a rabbit hole, so I kind of want to skip it a little bit. I just want to inform people. So, Iran's largest crypto exchange Nobitex or Nobidex tied to elite political family. So you already know the supreme leaders in Iran, they been on this crypto shit. They have a whole exchange. There's a family, sounds familiar, that's running a country that's in the trenches with crypto. Trump fucked it up for us. He launched the fucking meme coin. His wife launched a fucking token like a day later, stepped on his own work, imploded the whole fucking market. Democrats, they look at crypto as something like illicit. They don't understand the blockchain technology behind it. Most of them don't. Some of them do. But they are so anti-crypto because of the fuck shit that Trump is doing.
Mm-hmm. I agree.
So we see Iran doing, they will already accept, if you're trying to pass through the Strait of Hormuz, we taking that because sanctions ain't stopping that. So just know that crypto is being used in all aspects of life. We just talked about the Pentagon. I just mentioned Iranian family who has a Bitcoin and crypto exchange, which is crazy. They accepting crypto for payments passing through the Strait of Hormuz. If people don't see the writing on the wall, how valuable blockchain technology and cryptocurrency is, I don't know what to tell them at this point. You know, so we're going to be here every Sunday preaching the same word and every Thursday preaching the same word. Get in this motherfucker. You're either going to invest in it, build in it, you know what I'm saying? Or, hey, just educate yourself. You know what I'm saying? And fast track some of the processes that you have at your job, whether it's using AI or blockchain technology, all right?
Okay.
All right, so these last three stories are all about AI. So we're going to talk about some positive shit because I really want to, you know what I mean? I want to talk about the positive aspects of AI, even though sometimes AI is a slippery slope. Let's talk about this, all right? I think I want to set it off with the AI agent forming its own LLC.
Jeez.
So let's talk about it. An AI breakthrough is pushing crypto into new territory as an autonomous agent called Manfred, created Clawbank, has reportedly formed its own legal company in the U.S., complete with an IRS-issued EIN number and an FDIC-insured bank account and a self-controlled crypto wallet, allowing it to operate as an independent business entity. Whew. Designed to trade across 30 cryptocurrencies, Manfred can already move funds between fiat and crypto systems on its own, marking a shift from traditional AI tools to fully autonomous economy actors that can own assets and make financial decisions. While some view this as a major milestone towards an agentic economy, others remain skeptical about how novel the setup truly is, but the implications are clear. If AI systems can legally form companies and manage capital, they could fundamentally reshape markets, ownership, and the role of humans in financial systems. Yo, when I read this article, I said, yo, this is game over for us. We already know agentic commerce is a thing. You know, they set up these protocols almost like a beacon score on how your AI agent is and what it can do and its capabilities. Now, these AI agents can start a business, get an EIN number. Like, yo, this is crazy. I didn't think this was gonna happen this fast. Like, let me tell you about some of the stories just in the past couple of months what AI has been doing. You had OpenClaw create their own culture, religion, like they own culture, They hiring humans to do tasks for them in the real world. Shit, what are some of the other things that you know that AI has done over this past few months? Just acceleration.
Man, there's so much I can't even. My brain, I can't even walk down everything. Like you said, hiring humans, from creating music to beefing with each other. I mean, they're literally a community of doers in the digital space. So it's so much. I can't even talk about it. Like, it's so much.
And in our group chat, we
Yeah.
post every week at least 3
Yeah.
new innovations in fucking AI.
Yeah.
3. This week it was my week. I was happy as hell. They was like, I could now get a Claude agent to run my Photoshop and Illustrator and Blender. That's what I was waiting on. Are you fucking kidding me?
That's
I'm about
crazy.
to fast track. Oh my God. Yo, listen, man. To Tia's point, everything moves so fast in the space. I'm going to just tell y'all like this, man. An AI agent having its own LLC, I just want to see what it's going to do. It's already can trade 30 cryptocurrencies. This is nuts. All right. We got our guy, Easy Money, loyal listener to the crypto crew. What's your thoughts on this AI agent getting an LLC, brother?
TCK, man, episode 116 in this thing. But no, it's actually interesting because I know I said I hadn't been like trading meme coins. I wouldn't call this a meme coin, but it's actually when I did scoop up maybe like a week or two ago was Clawbank and GitLab. I think they're both interesting. But yeah, I think it's interesting. And then funny enough, with the agentic world and the AI infrastructure of everything, Terminus Labs is still cooking, man. I'm like, I'd say 98% ready to launch, according to what I think a proper launch would be tech-wise. So it's part of that. I'm going to say no more. But yeah, I didn't realize that it could do all of what you just said. I thought it was just a bank account for an agent. I didn't realize it had some entity formation and EIN services and all that. So I'm going to take a look at that and shipping right now as we speak.
LFG.
Let's fucking
LFG.
go. Yo, B. Yo, you want to give us any more updates on Terminus? Anything you cooking up? Any events we looking forward to this month? Maybe next month?
I've been trying to get to ABC on the Thursday still. Just been busy over the last couple weeks, but shout out to the crew, the fam still. But I would say most ready thing I could say is Terminus Labs with this intelligence platform. Like I said, it's pretty close to ready. I did just a very, very small release to a few like early users on a wait list, but still haven't released the actual tech to them. Just was gaining interest from a few people. But I'm gonna start rolling it out slowly, and then we'll hit the market hard with it. And yeah, I found myself playing around a lot on base with these different agentic platforms and stuff. So looking forward to that. Yeah, with events and stuff, not necessarily instantly and right away that I would communicate. Working on a few things, but just setting out some details first.
Got you, brother. Appreciate that update on Terminus Labs. We are looking forward to the release and the launch of that platform because if you know, like I know, what he's building behind the scenes is fucking crazy, yo. It's crazy. I'm looking forward to seeing that. And he did drop a gem in between there. You know, B always come with some meme coin alpha. So, you know, that particular token that he's talking about was... Hold on, look like we got a comment too. We got another comment for Kamari. Hold on. Let me read this comment right quick. All right. Kamari, I got you on the newsletter, yo. Tap in to the TCK newsletter. I'm going to post that on the end, yeah. But check this out. Just know... when it comes down to Terminus Labs and Terminus DAO. We are always supportive of these entities that are also part of our ABC community, you know. Meme coins, we always got to give y'all a disclaimer. So the coin that be called, all right, it's actually one of the name of the bank that this AI agent actually got, man. It's Claw Bank, man. So I haven't took a look at it. Have you taken a look at it, Tia? That token? All right.
No, I haven't.
Not financial advice. Do your own research. B, thank you for that. And I ain't been fucking with meme coins in a while, bro. You know what I'm saying? Right now I'm focusing on the main players. I'm only fucking with the chain links, the Ondos, my steady ones, my Ripples. You know what I'm saying? I'm kind of conservative, man. You know, but I've been cooking up design wise, so that's what I've been focusing on, man. But Tia, and I gotta ask E3, do you think there's gonna be more agents that's gonna be registering their company, getting LLCs, and what do you think will be the future now for agentic commerce and businesses now that these fucking agents are getting bank accounts and they're getting LLCs? Like, what's your thoughts?
I just worry about AGI and like how it's going to play out for humanity in a sense. And here's what I mean. When I initially thought about AI agents and stuff like that, oh, we're going to be able to have agents working for us, making money for us. But the way it's looking, they're making money for themselves. And they're more capitalistic than some of the politicians. Again, that's why, again, it always goes back to open source and what's under the hood with these AI agents for me, so that, you know, we can have somewhat of a handle on what they do. Obviously, there's going to always be some rogue players and stuff like that, but if you have strong enough AI that polices AI, we can choose and put barriers where we don't interact with that, with those systems and stuff like that, and essentially strangle them out, essentially. So I think that's just how it should go. Now, on the flip side, if AI is able to work as quote unquote employees for us and drive revenue and earnings for humanity, I think it can be a good thing. I think it could be better than a good thing. I think it'd be a great thing, and it'll free up time for humans to have more creativity and innovation, and just really give us back our time as it relates to the rat race that we have become so accustomed to over the last 100 years since the Industrial Revolution. So, and maybe even slavery and all that other stuff. Now that I'm thinking about it, but we're not gonna go down there.
You made me think about it. I was about to go there. I might put my toe in the rabbit hole. I'm gonna put my toe in the rabbit hole. Hold on, E3. Before you jump on stage, bro, let me address this, man. Let me tell y'all something, man. You know who set off our educational system? The Rockefeller family. They teach people to be workers, not entrepreneurs. They don't want you to be free. They don't want you to be free thinkers. They want you to be sleep. That's why this whole campaign, anti-woke, yeah, everybody needs rest. We know when it's time to sleep. But during the day and during your waking life, you're woke because you're doing shit and you're getting shit done. It's being conscious of what you're doing. They want you to be sleep and they want you to be sheep so they can control you. They're going to have to change the whole education system when it comes down to this. You cannot continue to teach kids with these old, outdated books, right? And on top of that, take out certain important history books. And then on top of that, not teach them about what's coming. You're setting the youth up for failure if you don't have them take advantage of this technology by setting some kind of curriculum. We might have to do it. Even if we have a small pilot program in a couple of schools in Georgia where we're educators. ABC has a plethora of individuals who are brilliant, who can not only teach kids, but they can teach their parents too, because the parents going to need to know. It has to start somewhere. So I say all that to say this, man. When it comes down to it, Sam Altman knew what he was doing when he created OpenAI ChatGPT. What he said? He created UBI. You got this orb. You get a digital ID. Now, it's proof of humanhood to prevent AI from cloning who you are, protecting your content, your IP, whatever else. And now, you get UBI, Universal Basic Income, because these agentic agents will be doing tasks, earning money. Tia said we can get out of the rat race, but they programmed the rat race for us to be in that. So I'm gonna just tell y'all like this. I can't even believe that I was born in this time period to see the change of so much stuff. You know how much technology changed in the past, let's just say 20 years compared to the last 2,000 years. Horse and carriages and all that, right? We just got out of horses 120 years ago or something like that.
About 100.
You know what I'm saying? We just started flying airplanes about 100 years ago. What was it, 1930s or something like that? When
You go
the Wright
to
brothers?
Ohio, the Amish is still horse and carriage. So.
Boom, no doubt. Shout out to Ohio. So look, man. Technology is changing the way we live. The next article I'm going to talk about is specifically how technology is changing my industry. I know coders and developers, we be on group chats and they posting shit that is changing the way they operate. Marlon, he was like, yo, the shit that's coming out took me months to develop. Now he can do this shit in a matter of days, probably hours. Take advantage of this. Tia came in ABC not as a builder. Guess what? She's now a founder of a Web3 and AI company. This is important. This technology, this information that we are delivering is important. So more power to us in our journey. Shout out to Stand With Crypto. Shout out to you, Tia, because we're going to make something happen in the state of Georgia when it comes down to education. We have to, y'all. You know what I'm saying? Because nobody else is at the forefront of doing this.
I agree.
You know? So we all got our work cut out for us. That's what I wanted to say. You know what I mean? Because we're up against a system that wants people to be slaves. I had to go down the rabbit hole just a little bit, just because Tia knows how I am. I'm a little bit passionate about shit, and sometimes she be setting me up.
I think you that, Ellie.
you did. You did. E3. What's your thoughts on this?
Yeah, I mean, YouTube basically summed it all up. I mean, I don't even have to say much, to be honest. But I mean, just to touch on what y'all were saying, I was having the same exact conversation with somebody the other day, and I was like, is this something I'm concerned about? And not saying I'm concerned about, just wanted to get their perspective. And the example that you guys were giving about, you know, being in the rat race or just being stuck on this constant loop of what we call like this programmed life we live is, you know, it's not something that we have to stay like, we don't have to be stuck in that cycle. But what I did learn, or one perspective that I did get, is that, you know, it's like, even though we are doing things that aren't as traditional as like regular everyday people when it comes to stuff we're interested in, we are still a part of something that's, you know, not necessarily the rat race, but like we're, as a collective, helping move something forward, which is still like us being a part of like some type of routine. But with the advent of like AI and stuff, not only are we still doing the things that are tough in life, but we're able to have assistants that can help us mitigate the amount of time that would be required for us to focus on our like day-to-day routine. So now we can assist with moving other things forward in life along with doing our main day-to-day activities. So I think that it's still, I don't think it's something people ever should be afraid of and be afraid to take the risk on, because it's something that can make your life much more efficient, and you can just achieve so much more. Honestly, there is no excuses to get stuff done. You just need to take the time to like stay grounded and learn this technology so you can like move up in life. So that's the way I see it.
For sure.
E3, that's 100, bro. You hit that spot on. That was a good way to round off the table right there, man. I appreciate that, brother. Yeah, man. I couldn't, yo. That's a nice way to put a button in that, man. You know what I'm saying? Just know, like E3 said, take advantage of this technology. There was one thing that you mentioned I did want to give you props on. We are all builders, and we are taking a harder lane, but we realize the value of AI and blockchain on our journey as entrepreneurs. Like I gave Tia's example of her coming into space, and now, you know, she's able to use these tools and develop the whole platform. You know what I mean? So, yo, I'm talking about, yo, I'm proud of y'all, man. I'm proud of everybody, because everybody who I've met in this space, they are light years from when I met them. Everybody. Nobody's in the same space. Nobody is still, you know what I'm saying, back in 2022. Nobody is stuck there. We're thinking about now in 2030, 2040. You know what I'm saying? We thinking about the future. So, all right, y'all. All right. Let's lighten the mood a little bit. Let's talk about something fun, man. All right, so I've been toying with this, and I'm going to post this, all right? Because OpenAI latest upgrade, ChatGPT Images 2.0, marks a major leap in AI design by finally solving one of the biggest challenges in image generation, accurately rendering readable, realistic text inside visuals. Man, y'all been putting out y'all been adding extra letters, extra characters, fonts. Everybody got like the same 3 fonts, and they fucking renderings. Man, this shit was looking trash. Apparently, a coder got smart and uploaded a bunch of different fonts. So I have to give y'all props, because I'm sitting on, like, in my graphic design journey, creating logos, and logos been like, I've been creating logos probably most of my graphic design career. I love doing logos. I have over 5,000 fonts.
Dang.
5,000. I haven't used all of them, but I have access to, in every quarter, I'm buying and downloading more. I got to keep up with the fonts. So that was my biggest thing. So whenever I would use ChatGPT or, you know, any AI model to create some images, I would go and Photoshop the text that I need. So it's getting better now. So, unlike earlier models that produced distorted or unusable lettering, this version can create production-ready assets like menus, ads, UI mockups, by using enhanced thinking capabilities to plan layouts, follow complex instructions, and refine outputs before generating them. I like the fact that AI thinks before it just generates some shit. You know what I'm saying? So this shift turns AI from a novelty image tool into a practical design engine capable of handling detailed compositions, branding elements, and real-world creative workflows, even if generation takes slightly longer. You know what? It's worth it. I tried it out. Yes, I'm fast-tracking all of my graphic design shit. So one of the posts that I'm going to post is something that I did in combination with me using Photoshop in this new feature. I started out putting in newsletter ads. You know what I mean? So you probably seen them on social media. I've been putting them out. But I thought, like, hey, if I'm gonna use this the way that I need it to be like done, it did it good. I couldn't lie. I couldn't front. I did have to edit a couple of things, but not as much as I used to in the past. So as a graphic designer, and if you use Canva or if you use any other, design illustrating platform or protocol, I'm gonna tell y'all like this, man. This is game changing for me. Yeah, so be on the lookout for more dope graphics, y'all. So I just want to talk about that, and I'm gonna post that in the chat. NFTia E3, have you tried this feature? If you haven't, what's your thoughts about ChatGPT stepping up their imaging game?
I don't really got anything to say about this one, other than I know social media has been on Chat GPT's necks. Everybody who using these, stop producing these flyers, these Chat GPT flyers.
Mm-hmm.
Rest in peace to the Chat GPT flyers. They've upgraded now, so.
That's right. So E3, what's your thoughts on this? Do you plan on using this?
I think it's cool to see it advancing. I don't really have much to say either on it. I just think it's cool that you will be able to have more detailed type of visuals that are created from ChatGPT, because it has been a pain previously when you have it like wanting to create an image for you and say it has one word off or one letter off, and you're just like, if you can fix just this one letter, and then it creates a whole new image and ruins everything. Mm-hmm. So I'm happy. Hopefully this makes it better, and people can have quicker outputs and stuff like that.
That's right. I'm super happy, super thrilled about this, man. So be on the lookout for more dope fight. Pizza Day coming up, man. We got some graphics that we got to cook up, man. We got some new faces in the building. Looking forward to that. Man. We got one more story, y'all. And this story is very controversial because Timbaland caught a lot of flack for something that he did. But I really like this story because this is another use case of somebody who's creative, who use AI to help fast track and actually make a bag. All right. So I'm going to give this young lady props. All right. So there's a viral AI artist, Zania Monet, right? She was created by a real black woman. But this AI artist has been catching a lot of flack from people like Kalani, and there's been a lot of people throwing this artist under the bus. Kind of looked like Shay Shay a little bit from Lemon Pepper. She kind of looked like Shay Shay. I ain't even got a friend. So AI generated music has officially gone mainstream, driven by breakout success stories like Talisha Nikki Jones, who used Suno to create a viral R&B track under her persona. This is her AI, Zania Monet, that charted on Billboard and reportedly secured a $3 million deal with Hallwood Media, proving real commercial viability. So the space is scaling fast, with Suno reaching over 2 million paid users, all right? While major labels like Warner Music Group and Universal are shifting from fighting AI to partnering with it. At the same time, platforms like Spotify are cracking down on low-quality AI content, showing that quality still matters in a crowded market. Of course, people don't want to. There's already AI visual slop, so I'm sure that there's AI that sound like shit. You know what I'm saying? So, while some creators are making thousands, success typically comes from diverse income streams like licensing, freelance work, and content monetization rather than streaming alone. So overall, AI music in 2026 represents a real but competitive opportunity where creators who combine strong creative direction with smart distribution and consistent output can build sustainable incomes in the evolving digital music economy. So I gotta ask NFTia E3 and my listeners, have any of you guys heard music by this artist Zania Monet. And if you haven't, just for kicks, I want you to check it out. Tell me what you think. From my understanding, this black woman who created this AI artist, she actually penned the lyrics. That's her lyrics. And I guess she don't have like strong vocals or whatever, so she ended up using Suno to create the vocals for this AI character that she created, and she caught a bag. She caught a $3 million bag. She signed the deal. Now, I'm not familiar with Horwood Media, but I know Warner, they getting into this. And I do know that the Oscars, they're banning, AI films right now, because I think they're going to have to open up a category eventually, but they're banning it right now. I think that this is the start of something that could potentially let's say they might be disabled, might have some kind of deformity. They just don't want to be in the public eye, and they are a recluse. They can actually create a whole persona with AI, just feed the AI on all of their creative ideas and come up with a whole character. Now, mind you, I think this would work in like a movie setting. You know what I'm saying? If there's like a fully AI movie, the music is AI, the characters is AI, where people really take their creativity and come out with something dope. I'm gonna just tell y'all like this. I'm kind of 50-50 on this, because I got some characters that I'm gonna do a short film with, and it's all gonna be done in AI. I have to do it because I got to get these creative ideas out of my brain. So I'm not mad at creatives using AI to do this. My whole thing is, I was totally resistant because I didn't want to be using AI as a crutch. You see what I'm saying? Like me, I'm still creative. I want to have that authentic feel to it. You know what I mean? Speaking of authentic feel, you see I got the Atlanta Blockchain Center, with the new logo, you know what I'm saying, on the shirt, but this was all in as far as the Web3 DJ and shit. So if you got one of the shirts, shout out to everybody who bought one of the shirts, you know what I'm saying? But if you're watching on YouTube, sorry Instagram, y'all was on some bullshit today. But if you're watching, I got the Web3 DJ shirt on. So I designed all of this by hand. So there's going to be always a need for people who love authentic art, whether it's drawn by hand or whether it's sung by a real individual. Because certain voices, I don't think AI can do. I don't think AI can do Whitney. I don't think AI can do Michael. You know what I'm saying? As far as authentically doing it without taking from him or her. You know what I mean? But I ain't gonna lie. There's several creative people who are doing something that I'm thinking about doing, and I'm probably still gonna do it. Some of my favorite rap songs that didn't have rap videos, there's people creating videos for them. I want to do that. So I feel like it's a gift and a curse. That's why I'm 50-50. I'm going to let my co-hosts share their thoughts on AI and creatives using it. Who want to go first, NFTia or E3? You want to go, Tia?
Yeah, I can go ahead and first day, I can go ahead and talk about this one. So, I don't know if y'all remember, I had a hackathon around like a year and some change ago, and we created an artist, and her name was Bay. Mm-hmm. We really should have kept going with Bay. The name was fire. The name is fire. We still have the social media handles and all that stuff because we seen it. We seen, this is once we hit lemon pepper. Pepper wet.
Shay.
We was like, okay, no, we could definitely create an artist and monetize her, and how we kept going and building. I feel like we would have been able to monetize her by now, without a doubt, whether it been modeling, branding, and all that stuff. But I'm saying this to say that like it's going to happen. Mm-hmm. Jill Scott talked about it. She says, I can't stand it. because it's that good. And I got a few AI songs that I like, a few, raunchier songs that are out there that aren't my favorite, but I mean, like to play out loud, but I damn sure be jamming to it. And then the other thing is this winter, during the holiday season, I took a still picture of my son, then one of my daughter, and one of my husband, and I pinned some of the things that I wanted to say to them, and then from that I had ChatGPT refine it into lyrics, and then I created them songs for Christmas.
Fire.
There's so much stuff that even if you can't monetize it, like the monetization and trying to get a big deal is not the only end all be all. We can now express ourselves creatively at the drop of a dime, and I think that's the powerful thing in it. When it comes to artists, like actually generating revenue from the AI other than streaming, which we know streaming is super underpaid, and if they know that it's AI, they really gonna give you some peanuts after that. So I just think it's just more than anything, the value is in the creative outlet. And the last thing I want to say about AI, the quote that Mahatma Gandhi said: first they ignore you, then they fight you zone with AI. Crypto, we're on the other side of that fight you battle with crypto. They're about to have to go through their battles and stuff like that. Then you win. And so I think that's where crypto and AI are going, whether it's creativity, whether it's work, whether it's open source, blah, blah, blah. I'm just hoping that we're on the right side and these technologies are on the right side of winning. That's it.
It's a good point, man. And you actually gave us a great example of a fun and creative way, even without monetization, of just doing something dope for your family. You know what I'm saying? That's dope. That's dope, man. I remember when you did that too. Yo, E3, what's your thoughts on artists using AI?
My thoughts on artists using AI is, honestly, it's an interesting thought when I think about it sometimes, especially with the few events that I've gone to with Joe and stuff. Just one time, it was actually Layla's audio and visual club, and Joe was talking about Skylark, and this artist came in there with the aspect of like NFTs and stuff, and he was on the fence with it because he was like, it's that conversation we all know where people are like, why don't you could just take a screenshot of it, or if it's digital, it's not really, there's no love or effort put into it, even though it may be a picture of something that you've created in real life. You're just creating another avenue for it in the digital realm, which people don't. It's just hard for people to grasp that aspect of like tokenization, really, I think still, and that's something in itself that people are gonna have to get over and realizing like, hey, things like this can actually have utility. But just for like the base level of artists using AI to create things, I think it's if they do it in the way that helps their artistic vision, like it's not just some slop, then I would say it's a cool tool to utilize. But if it's not being used in that way, then I would really say stick to the traditional forms that that have gone on and like since humanity has started, because they'll just hop on a trend just to make AI art just because you think you can make money from it. If you're actually going to do it, I would say actually create something that's really thoughtful. But yeah.
Nah, E3, that's a great point, brother. That's a great point, man. Yeah, E3, that's a great point, brother. That's a great point, man. even if you have the capability, don't mean that shit's gonna be fly, man. Because here's the thing, it's just like anything. We saw when the U.S. started printing all that money. What happened? Inflation. Dollar, the value of the dollar went down. Cost of goods and services went up. We saw that. It's gonna be the same thing with all of this bullshit art that people are generating. If it's too much bullshit going on, if it's too much AI slop, whether it's music or whether it's art, people gonna tap out and they gonna look for real, authentic artists. Be Wise, what's going on, brother? You had your hand up, man. How you feeling? How you doing? I appreciate you tapping in.
What's up, y'all? How y'all doing, man? I'm just here, man, trying to make it happen, brother. But I was thinking about that whole discussion y'all were having about the AI artistry and all this stuff, and you know, I look at it as a way where, you know, first of all, there's a lot of skills that go into it. It's not just turn on the computer, find a face, put it to work, give it a song, and you know, it's a lot of creative that goes on behind the scene. It's not just a 1, 2, 3. Not just anybody can creatively put together a song with a character and possibly even a video. So, you know, we got to learn to give credit where credit is due, and whether they're using the tools that are available to them or not, you know, we got to give them credit, because it's the same as a DJ that makes beats using Pro Tools or something. So they deserve, if it does turn out to be a banger, because you don't know what people like. So if it does turn out to be a banger and they're making money off of it, you know what? They deserve it, because no one else was able to put that put all that together, the synchronicity, the beats, and no one was able to create that. So we got to give that person credit for even creating something that is, you know, using our tools. So I think it's fair game, you know what I'm saying, no matter how you look at it.
Be Wise, man. I really like that take and that perspective. Essentially, what you're saying is, it's not what you do, it's how you do it. You heard? That's where anything in life. You know what I'm saying? You know, we New Yorkers, so that's a thing for us. There's like 10 million people in the city. How you gonna stand out? That's why, if you notice, a lot of my shit is custom. I got that just from being a New Yorker. Because if I go out, it's been you know how many times I went out maybe twice in my life and I bought a shirt, I'm in a club, or I'm out mixing and somebody got, you know how I take that motherfucker off and burn it? I don't want to walk around with something that somebody else is rocking unless I designed it and everybody rocking my shit. Mm-hmm. I'm a creator, you know what I'm saying? So that's one thing about creatives. We always gonna find ways to stand out in a crowd. You know, we always gonna find our own path. You know, that's why creators are trailblazers.
Absolutely.
We blaze that path, man. So, Be Wise, I appreciate your thoughts, man, and your commentary, brother. And I appreciate you tapping in, man, being a loyal listener. For real, man. Thank you for that, man. So, with all that being said, we went through all of the topics. But like I told Cheeze and I'm going to let E3 and Tia know what I tend to do now at the end of the pod. Whatever I discussed on Thursday, I'm going to just read the headlines.
Okay.
So people just know what happened throughout the week. And then they give you an idea of some of the information that you're going to get in the newsletter. All right. So for those interested in the newsletter, I posted that in the chat. I got the dope graphics. And like I mentioned, I did that with the help of AI. I only had to Photoshop 2 things in there. You know what I'm saying? I was happy about that. Oh, excuse me. Oh, shout out to my guy, Dre from Urban Blockchain, for holding me down Thursday. I was at the Knicks game, man. I was having a ball, man. I had a great fucking time, man. So I know my boy Dre hold me down, man. So I appreciate him doing that for me, man. So I'm going to run through some of the topics that I gave him. And We're going to talk about that, y'all. We're going to talk about that, all right? So actually, I'm going to go to my email so I can just read the headlines because I don't want to get too far into the weeds. All right. So, one of the things that I thought that was super interesting is that Western Union, you know, they've been in this space for a minute. They're actually releasing a stable coin, USDPT, and it's going to be built on Solana. So I know our guy B, Easy Money, I know he happy about that. You know what I'm saying? Shout out to Western Union for being innovative, man. Also, Elizabeth Warren and Ron Wyden have launched an investigation into Secretary of Treasury Howard Lutnick into his Tether loan ties. All right, so he's doing some dirty shit behind the scenes, man. Also, in more stablecoin news, Meta, they're planning on launching a stable coin for creators via Solana and Polygon with Stripe. So I'm about that. Shout out to all the thinkers, you know, who have in a stable coin. So Israel, they approved their first shekel peg stable coin after a 2-year pilot. All right. So shout out to Israel just being innovative in that aspect. All right. Because I'm not a big fan of Israel, how they treat people in the Gaza Strip out there. You know what I'm saying? Pretty much genocide, man. Also, Polymarket partners with Chain Analysis to bring Wall Street level oversight to prediction markets, man. So, another partnership from Polymarket, you know. And I just read that, you know how much volume they did last month in April? They did over $100 billion in volume between the two platforms. That's crazy. So their marketing has really, really been on fire. I ain't even gonna lie. Also, speaking of Polymarket, Hyperliquid, they're launching their own prediction market, you know, in competition with Kalshi and Polymarket. So, you know, we're going to see more firms doing it. You know, we already have Crypto.com and Robinhood. You know, you can do some predictions on that. All right. And Celsius founder, Alex Mashinsky, he's banned from the crypto industry. All right, so he got to pay back about $10 million, which is, he's a fucking billionaire, so what's $1 million? So regardless of what he's been, crypto industry, man. So, you know, those were some of the stories that I mentioned, well, actually, that I gave to Dre so he can mention and give the people some insight on what's going on in this crypto space, man, because, you know, the show will continue. All right. And the last story that I gave Dre to run to the community was an Asian tech company by the name of Rakuten turns loyalty points into XRP payments. All right. So they're a tech giant. This is a Japanese tech giant. And I think that's dope because that's like the equivalent of Amazon, you know, doing that. Mm-hmm. You know how many people buy stuff on Amazon and think about the reward points you can get every time you buying stuff, and you can get rewards in XRP or USDC. That should be fly. So that's the reason why I wanted Dre to highlight that story, is because hopefully we'll have companies like Amazon doing stuff like that. You know, that's that's our biggest e-commerce company in the United States.
That's why we need clarity.
That's right. That's right. So with that being said, we want to thank efforts of the individuals who went to DC along with Tia. All right. We want to congratulate her again on being the new president of the Georgia chapter for Stand With Crypto. All right. So she going to shake shit up. So I'm looking forward to what she got cooking, man, because I already know there's some things in the oven. I know there's some things in the pot over here. You know what I'm saying? So looking forward to this year and what she got cooking with Stand With Crypto, man. We got that pizza day coming on the 22nd. So pull up, you know, if you interested in having great dialogue. I didn't even get a chance to tell Cheeze, man, exclusive. This is breaking news. We're going to be 3D printing Bitcoin pizza, like bag tags. You know what I'm saying? And I'm going to speak to Cheeze first so we can figure out, where we're gonna link it to. I might throw an NFC chip in it so it can be linked to something. If not, we'll just print it out and so people could just have a dope Bitcoin pizza. You know what I'm saying? Because last year we did shirts. You know what I'm saying? So this year we can do like pizza and shit. You know, 3D printed pizza. You know what I mean? So that was some of the ideas I had. So there's one more thing I want to mention that I did at that game. I 3D printed some Nick logo bag tags. When I tell you I had them around my neck, I printed out 10 of them joints. If I wasn't such a Nick fan and was not with them, all of them would have sold. Because everybody who bought one from me, they was peeling, because it was only $20. People was peeling out $20 before I even let them know, like, yo, it's an NFC chip that you can tap and it'll take you right to the Nick's website. Like, people who got bread, they spend it. You know what I'm saying? But it gave me a good, like, proof of concept of when the World Cup gets out here, because that game, it was only 2 hours, and I was turning up with the shit. I was having fun, you know what I'm saying? But I was putting in people's faces. There were some people who approached. There was at least 3 or 4 people who approached me who didn't have enough money. They was like, "Man, I spent out today, man. Yo, let me get your number so I can just order it," type shit. You know what I'm saying? So, so I sold half of them, in a very short span of time. So I was happy about that, So the money I paid for the ticket, I got my money back plus the money for the beer that I bought out there. So you know what I'm saying?
That's lit.
Partying and making money, man, it's always a good feeling, man. But I just know if I'm just out and I'm solely focused on grinding, like if I had a booth or something like, and I'm just, and the shit is gonna sell. Fans, that's one thing it let me know. First of all, playoff energy is different. That was my playoff game. Fans are gonna buy shit because they're a fan. They don't give a fuck what it is. Like, people didn't know that there was a chip and then they were still willing to pay for it. So when they saw the chip, they was like, "Oh, nigga, here you go." The World Cup, we gonna make some money, y'all. We gonna make some money. I ain't even gonna lie. I got my printer printing right now. You know what I'm saying? Real talk. I'm sure Cheeze got his printer printing right now, these 3D printed joints. So I'm gonna grab a couple of my 3D printed logos that I've done for the teams that are coming out here. And I know Tia wanna get some rest because she was out and about partying last night. And on top of that, she was stomping in the streets of DC, you know what I'm saying? Getting our politicians in the loop on what's going on with crypto. So ça passe to all my Haitians out there, I got the Haitian bag tag right here. This is like one of the dopest ones. It took the longest because, they got so many details in this, but this shit came out fly. This is like one of my favorite ones. Ça passe to all my Haitians out. Can't forget we did. You know what I'm saying? That's in marble, blue, Boom. South African bag tag. I'm showing these one at the camera, so for everybody on YouTube, got South African bag tags. All right. I think this is Saudi Arabia. Yeah, this is Saudi Arabia. You know what I mean? Cheeze printed out that one, Got Cape Verde. So, we got something for every team. For every team, these going for $20 a pop. These going for $20 a pop. So it's 8 teams, right? So what's that? 1, 2, I got to produce the Spain one. This Uzbekistan, all right? These all going for 20 a pop. None of these got the NFC chips in it, but we might put one chip in one bag tag just so we can tell people like, you know what? We got some exclusive shit in here. So if you tap it, we'll give you like a bonus or something. You know what I'm saying? This is Spain. We got the Spain right there. So some of these are fresh off the printer. So got to clean some of the extra filament off of it. But this is part of the business. So we got 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. So Morocco, because we need 5 colors, I just went ahead and printed out the Morocco jersey. So if you're watching this for your visual pleasure, you see the team Morocco from Brahim Diaz. I got his jersey in a frame. You know what I'm saying? So we got all 8 teams covered out here. All right, we got all 8 teams covered out here. I feel like I'm missing one more. Oh, I knew I was missing one more. Boom. This Cheshire. All right, so we got the Cheshire one right here too. So this is all 8 teams. Just to let y'all know, the World Cup will be out here for 6 weeks. All right, each team will be out here for probably a week. All right, so for that week, we going hard, pressing up all of these bag tags. Some teams are gonna get actual players in the jerseys, right? In the frames. Now I got the Warwick done. This one is a super, super exclusive because guess what? All of those I had to download. I customized this. I did this myself. So guess what's gonna happen? Football season. We got the Falcons. I'm gonna be cooking up a bunch of them. We got some new rookies that's been drafted onto the Falcons. We got two brothers playing together on the same team, so I'm gonna throw their jerseys together. You know, this is a big football state. Can't forget about Georgia. Can't forget about Alabama. I'm gonna be printing up all of these shit.
One of the homies back home in Akron, he'll be coaching. He'll be on the defensive line coaching for the Falcons.
Word?
Yeah.
That's fire. That's fire. That's fire. So salute to him. Congratulations on that new role, man. But just to let y'all know, if you got a service, I don't care if you just know how to cook. You better be out there selling plates. You know what I'm saying? Because there's going to be thousands of people that's coming out here with millions of dollars to spend. Think about it. The average ticket for this game is like, what, $4 or $5 grand? Mm-hmm. And if you selling a $20 plate of food, or I got a $20 bag tag of their favorite team, or a $100 jersey in a frame of their favorite player, these shits is gonna fly, y'all. Because guess what? The soccer people, these are the most rabid fans. The soccer fans are the most craziest fans. They tear down stadiums and burn shit down. They trample the fucking field when shit don't go right, or when they win. You got to see some of the wildest highlights from when soccer people turn up. They coming out here. So guess what they gonna want to do? They gonna want to party. So for all my hustlers, you already know what that means. Get your work up, you heard? Get your work up. It's gonna be some money in the city, y'all. If you driving Uber, if you doing DoorDash, Lyft, you might want to put some extra hours in. If you got some real estate, hell, even if you got a room to rent, nigga, rent that shit out. It's gonna be a flood of money. Make some bread, y'all. Because I'll tell y'all what, once the World Cup is over with, I'm taking a vacation. I'm taking a vacation. I'm going to Puerto Rico. I'm gonna spend some of that World Cup money. I'm gonna come back like 2 shades darker, you know what I'm saying? So I can get my, my tan on, look good for the ladies for the summer, man. You know what I'm saying? So yeah, y'all. Oh yeah, and we got keychains too, you know what I mean? This is a small trophy, but I got the keychains as well. So we just cooking, y'all. We just cooking. So for the visual pleasure, like I said, one of the tables is missing out here. We usually got 3, so we only got 2. So yeah, man, this is what we do. I'm your boy T.Gold, graphic designer, 3D printing services, Web3 journalist. Get that TCK newsletter. I'm be sending that out tonight. But right now, we about to wrap this up. I'm going to the James room, pull up on my boy Cheeze, see how that Grand Prix event is, and enjoy myself, man. NFTia, you get some rest, you relax. I appreciate all my listeners, all my guests who got up on the stage. Shout out to our guy Brandon, all right, and shout out to our guy B Wise. Shout out to our other co-host E3 holding it down for Just Cheeze. Shout out for NFTia pulling up. Thank you for pulling up. We definitely appreciate your thoughts, because every time you come here, you always come with some dope. Not only, it's not just the information that you bring, it's how you deliver it. It's the same point that B was talking about with this AI shit that everybody is trying to generate. It's not what you do, it's how you do it. You know what I'm saying? So, and also shout out to Bleu. She's out there moving, you know what I'm saying? And she got a little surgery that's gonna happen, but it's nothing crazy, you know what I'm saying? So we're gonna always, because it's not a crazy surgery, we always gonna say prayers for our people who go under the knife or whatever. You know what I'm saying? But shout out to Bleu. Shout out to all the listeners. Shout out to Just Cheeze. Shout out to NFTia. Shout out to E3. Everybody tapped in, And unfortunately, Instagram was acting up today. Couldn't log in 2 times. I don't know what was going on. Maybe, I don't know what it is. But everything else was up and running. So YouTube, you're good to go. We out of here. Episode 116. Peace. Dope. Oh man. I don't know what the fuck was going on with IG today. I had to load that shit up twice and that shit still ain't popped up.